Manchester City beat Sheffield United 1-0. In fact, something of a record for City, Janusz. They've now won 12 games across all competitions. The last team to do that was Arsenal way back in 2007. But in that time, Pep Guardiola's men have only conceded 3 goals. It wasn't the easiest of games for them today, but things really are looking very good for them, aren't they?
Yes, yes. So it was a very easy game. It didn't seem that way because, you kind of sort of expect it to be 2-3 or 4-0. They've created enough. They didn't give up too much as well. And of course, yes, Sheffield United coming off of that win against Manchester United. So you want to pay attention. But in my book, it was very easy because they controlled the game throughout. And look, this is what's special about this Manchester City now, because they know how to grind results out. When I say grind results out, is the expectation that 1-0 for Manchester City seems to be like a bad game, right? Because there's going to be that commentary for God knows what reason. If you look what they've done on both sides of the ball, it's amazing. I think Pep Guardiola probably has figured out how to do rotation, getting players back. He's had his injuries as well, but now, just look at them. Rotating, keeping players fresh, getting them ready for the rest of the season. It's going to be very, very difficult for everybody else to negotiate themselves past Manchester City, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Now, Gabriel Jesus, the goal scorer in this game, snapping a 9-game scoreless streak. Obviously, positive signs there for him. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, look, in the absence of Kun Aguero, who once again first had to isolate himself, then became COVID-19 positive as well. So that's positive. But I think we've seen from Manchester City that they can play even without Jesus. So that's all positive. The key area, of course, is defensively, because you look at these records now. I'm sure you have every statistic there is. So many clean sheets, only 13 goals conceded. I think only 2 goals conceded in the last 12 games for them in the Premier League. It's just crazy stats, and everybody's healthy. And look at this. Look what Pep Guardiola has done after being so heavily criticized in terms of his team not being good defensively. You have João Cancelo that's being rested, and you have Kyle Walker. Take your pick. Both very, very good, right? You have defensively now, Laporte, Ruben Dias, who once again was tremendous, and Stones, who was rested. So you have 3-player rotation. No matter who you put in there, they look great. On the left side, you have Zinchenko, who, obviously continues to keep himself in the lineup, and he's preferred to Mendy right now. So, all things are great. And that's the bottom line, that defensively, this team is able to get through games like these while resting 3, 4, or 5 key players every game, where others may be losing points, right? You look at Arsenal against Manchester United coming up. You look at Liverpool, who had a big win, but they're going away to West Ham, and that's not going to be easy. So I just think that, it's, chasing Manchester City may become even more difficult.
Should Liverpool and United be worried?
What do you mean worried? Yeah, they're clear favorites to win the Premier League. I don't think anybody should be kidding themselves right now. I'm not saying it's done and dusted, because I look at the schedule of Manchester City. Okay, Burnley's next, although they're in great form right now. Then you have Liverpool against Manchester City. I think after that, Manchester City are playing Spurs, then away to Arsenal. They have Gladbach in between, which won't be as easy. And then, of course, Manchester City against Manchester United. So the schedule is crazy, but so is everybody else's, and yet they're able to rotate this healthy squad. Remember, no Kevin de Bruyne, but then again, Ilkay Gundogan. You know how I feel about him, huh?
Well, tell us how you feel about him, because that's where I wanted to go next, because obviously he's been in great form of late.
Yeah, look, and here's where we have to be careful, because it's not just now because he's scoring. He's got like 7 goals in the last 8 or whatever it is. But look, he's as close as it comes probably right now to David Silva, isn't he? Because when you think about it, the way he reads and gets himself between the line, he's the one that plays that 1-2 combination play in the penalty area to get others into the game as well, right? So when he's in a form like this, which we've seen when he was healthy in the past, he's just as important. There'll be some, I don't want to be the crazy one, but I think in so many ways, he's just as important as Kevin de Bruyne, and probably shouldn't be a surprise that Manchester City are ticking just fine without de Bruyne. And think about it. Once he comes back, Again, I love everything I see from Manchester City right now. I'm not surprised. I thought before the season that's going to be Liverpool and Manchester City fighting it out. I still think that those two teams are going to be there in the end. With right now, you have to say Manchester City being the favorites.
Before I mention a few more stats, I will just give a nod to Ramsdale, the Sheffield United keeper, and Sheffield United, the fact that it was only 1-0 against Man City, because it's been a struggle for them this season. And obviously, we know about that win last time out to Manchester United. But with Pep Guardiola, here's a stat: 500 wins as a top flight manager. So that's across the likes of Bayern, Barcelona, and now at Man City. And that's 500 wins in less than 700 games. Also, today, Jesus' goal was the 650th goal in all competitions under Pep Guardiola for Man City. I mean, people will sometimes doubt Pep, but the stats say it all, don't they, Janusz?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how you can doubt him. I love it when people say, "Well, he needs great players. He's got to spend some crazy money." I mean, if it was this easy, Big Sam. I mean, try to give Big Sam Manchester City and give him $1 billion and see what he's going to do with Manchester City. Because I promise you, if you give him $2 billion, that team not only won't play like this, but also won't win. And I don't want to throw Big Sam, just him, but you could mention just about every name out there. There are no guarantees in life. You still have to be able to maintain the level of play, stay within your philosophy, right? And I think Pep Guardiola is special in that. And of course, everyone wants to manage good players and great players, but that doesn't mean that that's easy. You still have to know how to do it. And I think the most important thing is to speak with the players and see how they feel about him. And I've yet to see a player that really hated playing for Manchester City or for Pep Guardiola. So I think, I think people that are, play the game and understand the game, I'm talking about fans as well. When they see that, I think they'll understand that it's a special manager that we'll talk about in decades to come.
Yeah, City flying high right now. A 1-0 win over Sheffield United today, extending their winning run under Pep Guardiola.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.